This is a video about Chapter 2, Section 3 in the textbook for Music Fundamentals. Here we get to talk about meter. Now meter is what we use to show the different bar lines, basically, and how many beats are in a measure. Remember, each music is sectioned out into different segments, repeating segments, and we call each one of those segments a measure. And so we can use different types of meter to show where the beats are and how the beats are divided. So the first thing that it talks about is a meter signature. And a meter signature is like 4/4 or 2/2, or you see that in music all the time. So with a simple meter, all that's referring to is that the beat is divided into two parts. So like a simple meter would be 4/4, where we have 4 beats and a quarter note gets a beat. And so we would go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and this is the beat, right? And then if we have eighth notes, then they 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's why we call it a simple meter, because the beat is divided into two parts. Let me just show you here. So here's an example of a simple meter. We'll just do 4/4 here. And that means the top note is the number of beats. Not the top note, top number, sorry. Top number is the number of beats. And the bottom number is the beat duration. And this is in simple meter. And we'll get into compound meter in a little while. So we've got 4 beats in the measure and a quarter note. So like if you looked at it like a fraction and we took off that top note, it'd be like 1/4, right? So a quarter note gets the beat. Okay? So a quarter note gets the beat, and then that would be the measure. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then if we wanted to divide the beat, then we can do it in eighth notes. We'll beam these together. Well, that's not looking too good. Okay, so then we've got our beat here, right? So we've got our beat 1 is here, 2, 3, 4, and so that means that the beat is divided into even parts, 2 even parts. That's what gives us a simple meter. Okay. And you can have all different numbers. Well, not all different numbers, but you can have like 4/4, and that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another way that sometimes you see it written is with a C. That just means common time. And that equals 4/4. Okay, I'm going to move this over a little bit. Okay, so C equals 4/4. Sometimes you see it like this, and that means cut time. Cut time is like 4/4, except it just goes twice as fast, and that actually equals 2/2. So if it's a simple meter, 2, the top note, that means 2 beats in the measure, right? And the bottom, if we look at that as a fraction, half note gets a beat. Okay, so that would be, and we could write that same rhythm because you've still got 4 quarter notes in the measure. Except the beat would be 1, right? So if the beat stayed the same, if it were in 4/4 here on this one, if we were on 4/4 here and the beat were here, right? Then that's how that would be played. If we kept the beat the same, that quick, and the half note was the beat, then this would go twice as fast. Right? 1 and 2 and so the cut time would be 2 beats of a half note in each measure. That's all cut time means. I'm going to play an example that can be in either one, and I'll show you how that works. This is a piece that I wrote for a music library. Okay, so here we're 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2. This would be kind of cut time, and then 1, 2, that kind of thing. Okay. So yeah, that's cut time and 4/4. Now you can have different. Let's go back to the textbook here. You can have different numbers on the top as well. So like we can have like for instance, you could have a 3/4 time. That would still be a simple meter. Let's look at 3/4. So that would be 3 beats, and the quarter note would get the beat. A piece like that would be like a waltz or something like that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Right? So that'd be kind of like a quick 3/4 measure, 3/4 meter, where the pattern repeats in threes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Right? Okay, so that's a triple meter. So one other thing that we can look at too is the number on the bottom. So you can have different numbers on the top, like you can have a 4 and a 2, and that just gives you different numbers of beats. On the bottom number, you can have it change as well. So you could have a, let's see, like a 4. Let's just do 4 on the top, and then let's do an 8 on the bottom. So that would mean that you'd have 4 beats, right? 4 beats, and on the bottom, you'd have an 8th note gets the beat. There's a little exercise that I want to show you. Actually, it's a worksheet that you'll be able to fill out. And let me just pull that up quick here. This is kind of a worksheet that talks about the different types of meters and things like that. And these are all simple meters. They're all meters where the beat is divided in half. And remember that the beat can change to any value. Like you can have a half note beat, you can have a quarter note beat. And so, and that just depends on what this bottom number is down here. So let's just go through a couple of these. So if we've got a half note and 1 beat equals a half note, it's saying for the given unit of beat, write one note that has the specified value. So we want 2 beats. So what would be, if the half note is the beat, and we want 2 of those, what note value would it be? It's kind of like a math problem. So 2 half notes, and we know that a whole note gets 2 half notes, right? So that'd be a whole note. So 1/2 of a beat, if the beat is a half note, then 1/2 of the beat would be a quarter note, right? And if we want 1 beat, then that's a half note. And if we want a quarter of a beat, so a quarter note gets half the beat. If we divide that in half, that gives us a quarter of the beat, and that would be 16th note. Actually, not a 16th note. That would be an 8th note. That would be an 8th note, right? So that's kind of how that works. A little bit further down here, you can put any number up here. You could have, 400 up here. That'd be one really long measure. Usually you get up to 4 and 6, and then we'll talk about some other meters. But for the most part, you're going to have 2, 3, or 4 in simple meters. So that just means that you've got 3 beats in the measure, and you've got a quarter note equaling 1 beat, because there's the 4 on the bottom. Okay, so that'd be like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's kind of how that works. Down here, you'll be able to put in bar lines on this, and you've got 4, 4, so you got 4 beats in the measure. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you got a bar line. 1, 2, 3, 4, bar line, etc. And then you can practice playing these rhythms. So let's just clap this rhythm together. All right? Here's the click. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Rest, rest. 2, 3, rest. Okay, so I'd practice looking at practicing those rhythms, and you'll get some more practice in Practica Musica as well with rhythms. Okay, let's see if there's anything else on here. Rests are the same thing. Putting more beats in. Okay, we'll talk about dots too. Okay, so that's how that works. Let's go back to the text. Duple and triple meter. All that means is that you've got an even number on the top or an odd number on the top, or 3. Either a 2 and a 4 on the top or a 3 on the top for triple meter. That's all that means. A triple meter just has 3 beats in the measure, and duple meter just has either 2 or 4 in the top. Okay, this one talks about an anacrusis, and all that is, for instance, if you like on this, "Oh Give Me a Home." Right? So it starts with a pickup measure. "Oh, give me a home," right? 1, 3, 1, 2, and 3, 2, 3, 1, right? So that just means that you've got a pickup measure, or pickup note, that starts on beat 3, and it can be an anacrusis to any measure. It could be a 4, could be a 4/4 measure, and you just start on beat 4. That's what an anacrusis is. Okay. Let's see. And then usually when you have a song with an anacrusis, you take the last measure and you lop off a beat. Okay, so. Right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And then we don't have a 3 because the 3 is the beginning of the measure. That's how that works. Okay, compound meters. This is a little bit different. A compound meter is different from the simple meter. So we've got simple meters here. I'm going to move down to compound meters. And compound meters, that just means that the beat is divided by 3. Into 3 parts. Okay, with a simple meter, remember we're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and right. With a compound meter, we're going 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3 lolly, 4 lolly, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and right. So we've got if I did eighth notes, we've got 3 eighth notes in the beat. Right, kind of like this. Okay. So what kind of a meter would we have to put there? Let's see, how many quarter notes are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 quarter notes. So if we did a 6/4, that would mean we'd have 6 beats with the quarter note equaling the beat. Well, we've only got 4 beats. So let's just put it out here. I want 4 beats, and then what do I want to equal the beat? Here's 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3 lolly, 4 lolly. So if I look at this, this is the number of notes that I have. If I want to count that many beats, it looks like I've got 1, 2, 3 eighth notes. So if you had a note value with 3 eighth notes, remember a quarter note is 2 eighth notes. If we added a dot to that quarter note, then that would equal 3 eighth notes. So if I put 4 dotted quarters as the beat, well, we don't have a number. We don't, like a quarter note is like a quarter, right? That equals a quarter note. If we have 3/4 of a note, well, we don't really have, you know, you can't put 4 3/4 or 4 3/4 of it. How do we do that? Like, yeah, 3/4 of a beat. So, you know, it makes it a little tricky. So basically what we do is we count the number of divisions, or the number of eighth notes in there. And the closest thing we can do is put an 8 on the bottom. And then how many eighth notes do we have? Well, we've got 3, 6, 9, 12. We've got 12 eighth notes, right? So the meter would be actually 12/8. 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3 lolly, 4 lolly. And the way that you can remember that, is you look at that top number. And if that top number is divisible by 3, if it's divisible by 3, and it's not 3, then it is a compound meter. Okay, so if the top number is divisible by 3 and it's not 3, like if you had a 3/8 here, then that would just be 3 beats of eighth notes. But the top number is divisible by 3, so 12/8, then it's a compound meter, and that means that the beat is divided into 3 of these lower numbers. Okay, so let's try a different meter. We've got let's just try 9/8. Okay, so 9/8 is divisible by 3. So, and that equals 3. So we'd get 3 beats. And the bottom is an eighth note. And so if you put those 3 beats together, or those the eighth, remember, is the division of the beat. So if you put 3 eighth notes together, that's a dotted quarter. The beat is the dotted quarter, right? Okay, so we've got 3 beats of a dotted quarter equaling a beat. So if we wanted to write something that goes like this, dotted quarter, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? And that would be the end of our measure. The beats here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you notice that you can beam them all together within the beat. You wouldn't want to beam all those together because this is beat 1, here's beat 2, and here's beat 3. If you beamed all those, if you beamed those 4 eighth notes together, then it would be, then you wouldn't be able to see where the beat is. Okay, so that's compound meter, and typically 8 is the one that you see underneath the on the bottom note. Another common one would be 6, 8, and that would be, so you've got 6. 6 is divisible by 3, and that's 2, so you've got 2 beats with the dotted quarter. Wow. The dotted quarter equals the beat. Okay? That's compound meter for you. And here's some examples that you can listen to in the text. So this is an interesting little thing. You've got this 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and, or 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 1 lolly, 2 lolly, right? So it just depends on where the accent is and the whole feel of the music. Here you've got the beat happening here. 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 1 lolly, 2 lolly. Or you've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and, right? So it makes a difference, the meter does. Okay, I think that, oh, asymmetrical meters. Yeah, I don't know that we need to get into those too much. That just means that you've got like a 5-4. You've got 5 beats in the measure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's just, we won't get into those too much. But know that they do exist. You can have odd numbers on the top, like 5 and 7. And those are kind of a combination of of a simple and a compound meter. Okay. So that's it for Chapter 2, Section 3. On to Section 4.